Hey guys, I just want to put a disclaimer out there. I'm making this video just for informational purposes only. I'm going to just show you what I did to replace my AC condenser. My AC condenser already had some damage in the front. All the AC freon had left the system already, so I'm just letting you know that it is illegal in many places to actually just release the freon. So you should go and get a technician to remove all your freon, and just have a professional replace the condensers altogether, because it is really a difficult task, and because items are heavy, it is best to have another person on hand to help you out when lowering and replacing the condenser, radiator, all the components. I kind of did everything myself and didn't follow the best safety practices. In one shot you'll see me just forcing the components up above my head, just to get it into the right place so I can bolt in the bolts that are going to hold the components together. This video took so long to edit. I hope some of you find it informational and helpful. If it did, go ahead and press the like and subscribe button on the bottom and it'll help me out. What else? Oh, if you are planning to swap out the AC condenser, you might plan on doing a radiator flush at the same time, because you will have to drain the coolant fluid and drop the radiator. So that's something that you might think about doing at the same time. Alright, on to the video. All the AC has left the system. I know the damage is right there. I wish I've taken the video to show you where it was leaking, but it's dry right now. It's been a long time since I should have actually replaced the condenser a long time ago, but I didn't, and it's dried up. But all the damage is right there. As you can see, it says VOLVO pad coil compressor, refrigerated, charge 0.7 kilograms, which is about 24 ounces. It's the 134A right there, and the compressor is actually down there. You're not going to be able to see it. And then the clutch is right there, but the clutch doesn't actually engage because there's no refrigerant in the car. Unhook the fog lights. This is a 10mm. Again, I can unclip the fog lights. 10mm. There's the clip right here. Push up with your long flathead. Move across. And then again, there is a clip. Right there.
This is a number 6.
When it stops leaking like that, just go ahead and open the cap to the coolant reservoir and it'll start streaming again. Remember to put a bucket or pan on the bottom to catch all the coolant.
So this is the new condenser. The package seems to be a little damaged during shipping right here. Hopefully the inside is going to be intact. So there seems to be a little bit of damage right here on the fins. But I think that's just the fins. And yeah, there's a little bit of damage over here on the fins. But that's just the fins. I think the inside, the inner core is probably still intact. The lines that's going vertically right here. I mean horizontal, vertical, whichever you want to, if you go like this, it's for vertical. But the inner lining seems to be intact where the fluid goes in. The fins are just there to actually cool the system. So I'm just gonna use this. I don't want to actually ship it and return it. Or maybe I should. It's gonna take another 2 weeks or something just to ship it and then get it back. Alright, I'll probably use it. Hopefully it's gonna be okay. If on the road you're gonna hit debris anyway, and then as long as the inner core is okay, it should be fine. Once I release the pressure, if there's pressure inside here, it should be okay. It should be fine. Let me just give you a quick walk around. I'm gonna remove this pipe first. Then I'm gonna take off these bolts right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think that's these 2 bolts, one right here and one right there, are the ones that hold the condenser or radiator. I actually don't want to take out the front cross member, because you have to take out the bumper and everything if I decide to take it out. Most likely I'm going to be able to drop hopefully going to be able to drop the condenser from the bottom, but I'm not too sure. If not, I'm going to have to take out the whole bumper, front bumper, but I don't want to do that. These are T25s. You're going to use a flathead or a 7mm to take out the clamp. There's a clamp right here. You want to remove this cable, and again I'm going to use a 7mm to remove the clamp. Just pop out the pipe. Pop out the pipe on this side. Shoot. Clamp this. Just rotate it and it pops right out. Next, what you can do is put some paper towels, stuff it inside those hoses so that no debris gets inside. So I put in the paper towel over here and over there. Next, I'm going to take out these 5 bolts right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're 8mm. This is for the air filter. The airflow goes in that way. Next, all you want to do is pop this out. Be careful, the clips might come out. So pop this out and just pull it back, and it just pops right out. Just the 8mm. Again, be careful when you take out this bolt. so it doesn't fall down to the bottom. Pull it to the side. Disconnect the clip. Sometimes these clips are a little finicky, so I'm just gonna use the plier just slightly. That should be enough. Take out the clip. Next, there's a clamp. That's the 7mm. This is just to loosen the clamp. There's a harness right here, clipped to the fan. You might want to actually unclip this first, because the harness actually gets in the way of pulling out the box a little bit, giving a little bit of more free room. There you go. Now you can actually move the harness a little bit out of the way. It gives you a little bit more free space to actually jiggle this around a bit. So I'm gonna there we go. And then you just want to rotate it and put the your air filter box on the top.
Hey guys, just to let you know, I was figuring out this process one by one by taking out the components. I'm just going to let you know right now, you will have to remove all the lines and hoses. But if you fast forward to where I'm actually doing the installation, you're going to see that these components actually are bolted together, and they're supposed to fall down or be placed together. It's like a tray. On the bottom you'll see like a black lining, and those components are actually bolted together, and they should fall down at the same time, as long as you free up the open space for them to drop down. And I didn't have really any help at hand, but if you have like a hydraulic jack or like heavy equipment, you may be able to actually hold the components together and drop them at the same time in a safe and a reasonable manner. Because when the components are combined together, they're going to be heavier, as opposed to if single components, it's going to be lighter. So that was a tip for today.
At this point, you want to take out the zip tie. If you haven't done so already, cut out the zip tie. And again, cut out this zip tie. You're going to have to remove the electrical cable and the one for the fan right there. These are the bolts, one right here and another one on the right side. Those are the bolts for the fan. That's going to have to come out. You also want to unclip the coolant hose just on top like that. unclip that. And there's, I think, another, probably a zip tie on the bottom, I'm not sure, or it might be just a clip. First, let me just do this. Again, the pliers, I'm going to just use a little bit for a little leverage on the clips. Do not put a lot of force on the pliers, or else you might actually break the clip. Another zip tie. Again, right here is a clip for the fan. I just want to jiggle it out. At this point, what you want to do is move your pipe and just bend your pipe and then just move it to the side. Don't worry about, you know, breaking the pipe. These pipes are, these hoses are meant to bend.
Correction, just remove this hose altogether. It'll just make your job much easier than actually bending the hose.
The bolts are right here for the fan. I'm not sure if I'm getting the shot. Hold on. These are going to be 10 mil. Again. At this point, you can actually remove the coolant line, unclip it on the top of the fan. Another bolts right here. At this point, you can actually just be careful of the wires on the left and make sure you're not hooked to anything. Just lift the fan up and you should be able to take it right out, straight out. These bolts right here, 1 and 2 on top, I'm going to take those out. I think those are attachments to the radiator itself, so, or for the mount. So I'm going to take out the first bolt. Bolt. Now there are 2 bolts on top, one right here on the driver's side. And if you move this pipe, there should be a bolt right there. So from the top, I don't know if you can see it, there's a bolt right there. From underneath the driver's side, there's a bolt right here. Let me see if I can get a shot. bolt's right there. Follow the line. There's a bolt right there. Passenger side. Here's the bolt right there. You can see it readily right here. Go across, and there it is. Next to it is the fog light, and it goes up. Now this is the last bolt that I'm going to take out. This is the driver's side. This is the piece where it stands, which is the condenser, the intercooler, and the radiator together. These are the bolts. I'm going to take that, take the last one out. This is a bolt for the actual, the frame, I guess, the frame that holds all of it together. And I'm not going to take that out yet. I'm going to wait till the last moment to take it out. But before I do that, I'm going to put on some of these bungee cords. Tie in some of these bungee cords so these components don't fall on me while I'm actually working underneath it. So I'm going to take off this I'm just taking off this these two bolts because there's a sensor underneath, or a clip underneath. I think this would be a good place to attach one of the bungee cords, so I don't want to damage the sensor or clip. So I'm just going to take this bolt off. So I can attach the bungee clip to it. Okay. So that intercooler pipe has to come out. There seems to be a lot of oil coming out of this pipe, so I just rotate it this way and put a rag in there. So if it does drain out, it will drain out to the rag. And then I actually put a bungee cord right here to this. I also attached a bungee cord right here with a zip tie to it, and also on the other end. Let's see. And I'm probably gonna put a bungee cord. Yeah, I've decided to actually take out the air intercooler pipe. That one right there. I think the radiator has to move out anyway, so I decided to remove that pipe. Was bungee cord these. Right here, because once I loosen the bolts, I know this is gonna probably drop, so I bungee corded them. Same on the right side. And I just attached them up top over here. These are the 4 bolts that came out, a ratchet for comparison. I took out one of the bolts on the driver's side. The units don't seem to be too heavy. The bungee cord seems to be holding, so I'm going to do this for the other side. This is the driver's side. I took out the bolt right there. The bungee cord seems to be holding.
Remove this coolant line. It's best to remove this hose from the top in case there is coolant left. And make sure you have a pan on the bottom to catch the coolant.
This coolant hose has to come off. Also, there's a sensor clip right here that needs to be taken off. I dropped the radiator just enough to get to the bolt for the condenser. The bolt for the condenser right there. It's still on bungee cords. This is the 8mm bolt. If you still have a AC in your system, be careful when you actually unbolt this, because it may still be pressurized. But all my AC has already leaked out of the system, so I don't have to worry about it. Yeah, I unhooked all the cable lines. Basically, you're gonna have to unhook the cable lines and the coolant lines. The radiator is gonna have to come out. So I took out all the hoses. You're gonna have to take out the radiator. This is the only line that I didn't unhook. Yeah, I dropped down all three of the radiator, intercooler, and the condenser. I took out this bolt. I'm gonna take this out, unclip it, and then if you're really careful, you can actually, you see how the condenser is still attached, you can just there's a flexible pipe right here, so it's flexible. The whole thing drops down. Once it drops down, you can actually unscrew the nut, because up there I try to do it, the space is so small I can't get my ratchet in there, so I just had to drop it down first and then work on it, because this is on pretty tight. Okay.
So go ahead to the next part of my video up there, and always hit the like button, comment, and subscribe. Thanks.